What's going on, guys? So as you see here, I have some notes, and we're gonna talk about a few things. Since I've been, promoting Tryp again, right now that we are back, now that we're ready to go, now that you see what happened a few days ago, last weekend in New York, and you guys finally got to see the app and the functionality, all that stuff. We're back to facing backlash and hatred and all types of slander from a lot of people in the Uber and Lyft community on the internet, on Facebook, on YouTube. They just don't like Tryp. Okay, so we're gonna talk about a few things. We're gonna talk about why. Why is it that they are thinking the way they do? It's because they have microwave mentality. They have a job employee mentality. They have a when I see it, I'll get involved when I see it happen mentality. And we're going to talk about when can Tryp launch. Don't worry about my, just quick chicken scratch real quick. And I'm also going to talk about Uber Tuber logic. Okay, they are technically scammers. This is going to be my favorite one to talk about. They're technically scammers. All these Uber tubers, all these Uber figures, they're pretty much scammers, according to their logic and them calling me scammer. So they don't do research exactly. And we're going to talk about all this stuff. Because it's very easy for me to go back and forth with them on the roasting tip, right? They, you got a guys like Geo, the rideshare guy. I forgot his rideshare whatever. I forgot his screen name, his username. Making fun of my gap teeth. Take a screenshot of that. I've been able to do pretty well for myself with these, right? Imagine if I did get my teeth fixed. I mean, I'd be unstoppable. But anyway, we're going to talk about all of that. It's easy for me to go back and forth with them and get them real mad and, to where they're probably going to want to see me because it's very easy for me to, like, roast. And we can talk about lifestyle and all that type of stuff. But it's okay. So we're going to talk about these few things, okay? We're going to talk about why they think the way they do. They have microwave mentality. They have job employee mentality. They have that when I see it happen, then I'll get into it, then I'll do it mentality. And we're going to talk about when can Tryp launch in each city. Then we're going to talk about the Uber Tuber logic. Technically, they are scammers. They're scammers. So let's dive into it. Tryp. I found out about Tryp. I came across it in late 2018, right? Today's January 15th, 2020. And I came across Tryp November 2018. I was under the impression at that time that we would be coming out early 2019. Don't drink their Kool-Aid, G. Oh, definitely not. So I thought we were going to be ready to go by, 2019 at some point. Unfortunately, I don't even want to say unfortunately. Unfortunately for who? I mean, whatever. I have a go-getter entrepreneur mentality, and I understand setbacks happen. But anyway, the reason that a lot of these people, first of all, they're suffering. So hurt people, okay? These Uber drivers, first of all, before I even start, this backlash really only comes from the internet. I only see this type of backlash on YouTube and on Facebook. When I'm out in the real world and I speak to rideshare drivers, Uber and Lyft drivers, anytime I talk about Tryp, they're very receptive to it. They're very excited about that idea. They usually download the app and, they're waiting. They're not on YouTube talking a whole bunch of crap. So it's really only online. And when you think about it, right, if you were to search how many drivers there are in the US alone, it's a couple of million. It's at minimum a couple of million drivers, rideshare drivers. So when you look at these Uber tubers, Uber figures, and they only have anywhere from 1,000 subscribers, 10, 20, 30. I think the highest guy, Dustin, has like 47,000 subscribers. That's a small chunk. And then their videos probably get 1, 2, 3,000 views, right? The same people, the same 1, 2, 3, 4,000 views. So you're talking about a small little group, the peons, right? They are peons. So, would you really call them authorities in this space? When you think there's so many millions of drivers, anything that they post is not really being seen by the masses in this rideshare niche. So that's the first thing we got to think about when doing all of this. This is only little chatter and back and forth amongst a few people. Uh, it's only amongst a few people. So what we're going to talk about, again, for those tuning in, we're going to talk about why are they so vile and spew so much hatred and everything's a scam and I'm a scammer and Tryp's a scam. One is because they have a microwave mentality. I'm going to start digging into it now. They have a microwave mentality. They have a job employee mentality. They have that, oh, you know, I'll see what happens when I see it happen. We're going to talk about when can Tryp launch. And the biggest thing right here that I want to talk about, I might start with this first. The Uber tuber, I don't know, maybe second. The Uber tuber logic is that if we were to talk about their logic when they talk about me, when they talk about Tryp, technically they're scammers. They're scammers. We're going to get into that. So let's go. Microwave mentality. I heard about Tryp and I fell in love with the concept late 2018. We started really pushing it last year at this time, January, February of 2019. We were expecting things to be launched and out there by spring, summer of last year. It didn't. We had a bunch of events. We had a bunch of people, a lot of drivers, a lot of excitement. We created a whole wave, a lot of noise. Some of that noise pissed off the Uber tuber community. And save your comments and questions so I can like get into it. So are you saying Tryp is a scam? What? Look at these negative people. And no, Tryp is not a scam. And I'm going to explain that for the educated people who want to listen instead of listening to these Uber tubers who are technically scamming you. And I'm going to get to that. It's the Uber tubers who are scamming you. So we expected this to be out by last summer. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But fast forward to last weekend, we were finally able to see what we were talking about this whole time. An actual app working, right? A rider being able to request a ride and a driver picking up that rider and actually being able to navigate and then seeing the, seeing the receipt. If you haven't seen the video yet, let me find that for you real quick before we continue. And let me get some lights and thumbs up because I'm really about to break this down. So take your time. If you're just tuning in and you can't watch the whole thing, watch the replay. It's cool. All right. What I want you guys to do is go to this video if you haven't watched it already. That's the first driver in Tryp history. I want you to watch this whole video, okay? Watch the whole video. The first test ride in New York City successful. Watch that video, and then I speak at the end. So, we had a lot of setbacks. So, microwave mentality, my first point right here. What do I mean by a lot of people are upset because they have microwave mentality? They expect a startup like Tryp to be just like Uber and Lyft overnight. So when, like, Uber had the luxury of not being around during peak social media times, and also that they did things the traditional corporate way in terms of getting funding, you know, from the big banks, from Silicon Valley, hundreds of millions of dollars. Tryp took an approach more so of a network marketing, affiliate marketing approach. And obviously people having to pay upfront, you know, confused a lot of these job employment-minded drivers, right? These are not the most savvy, and I really don't want to come off as like brutal, but these are not business owners. These people have never ran businesses. These people have never started anything, right? They're Uber drivers. Like, I don't mean to like be mean, but they don't know what it takes to start a company. Let's talk about the Uber timeline, which a lot of people have no idea. Uber started in 2008, okay? 2008. In 2010, it was still called Uber Cab, okay? And it was only in San Francisco. It was a black car service, okay? They got into some legal troubles. They had to change their name. They had to drop the cab and keep it Uber because they weren't cabs. So Uber started expanding in 2011. You didn't see it in any major cities, right? I'm from New York. I really didn't see it until 2014. What about these years right here? So that's about 6 years from idea to formulation to getting funding to doing all that stuff. It took about 5 or 6 years, right? So back to Tryp. Tryp just became an idea in 2018. It started bubbling a little bit in 2019, right? We couldn't get anything off, right? We didn't have an app to show for it. But now in 2020, right? Now in 2020, it looks like we are poised to go. The only difference between Tryp and Uber is you guys saw all the blunders on the internet. You saw people like me, you saw other drivers, you saw people on YouTube, on Facebook, being very excited about this concept. So with people who have microwave mentality, they see a finished product, right? A lot of drivers started driving for Uber and Lyft in 2015, 16, 17. So they're only a few years in after Uber went through all their issues, after Uber went through all their legal issues. They're still going through legal issues, but the main issues that Uber had, having to have rebranded and do all that type of stuff and go nationwide, a big chunk of that came way before they even signed up to Uber. So they have all these issues with Uber still, right? They're not getting paid as well as they believe they should. A whole lot of issues, right? All right, we're gonna get into that too. We're gonna get into that. If you look at Uber, look, right? People wanna Google Tryp and they see all types of like negative articles about Tryp being a scam. But if I was to Google Uber, look at all this. Look at all these thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pissed off drivers, right? You can't make this up. In front of Uber, Uber, you are driving us to poverty. Unfair. Oh, but Tryp is the scam, right? But Tryp is the scam. So you have a lot of people that are expecting Tryp to be just like Uber, as big as Uber overnight. They don't understand that this is a startup. They don't understand that they are using the people to spread word of mouth. Second, guys, I'm getting blown up. Hold on. Somebody's trying to call my phone while I'm live. Give me a second. Give me a second. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Train of thought. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. My bad, guys. So you have people who they probably think that, you know what, the concept of Tryp is okay. It's cool. Yeah. But when they see that we missed dates, when they see that we had setbacks, they're automatically calling it a scam. They're automatically, they expect it, right? It's so funny how it's the people who are not involved with Tryp that are more pissed off about the setbacks than the actual guys like myself, the drivers, people who've sat in presentations, people who've watched, you know, everything that's been said, you know, from the corporate, from guys like myself. They're more pissed off. The people who are not involved are the ones who are talking the most crap. It's unbelievable. So people have a microwave mentality. They expect stuff to be done now. They have short attention spans. They can't think, you know, they can't remember. They can't, they're just like, I just need it to work right now. Instant gratification. That's what they just, right now. So that's the first thing, okay? The second thing, issue with people is that they have a job employee mentality. Now, what I mean by that is when they see that they have to pay upfront, right? When they have to pay a $99 setup fee, the $99 setup fee goes towards your background check and you're getting your merchant account set up, okay? There's cost to starting your own business. And if you have your own car, it's your own car, and you're using Tryp as a tool, right? Or you're using Uber as a tool, you're your own business person, right? But they have a job mentality in where they're used to getting involved or starting a job without having to pay up front because they're not business owners. So when they see something like, I have to pay $150 a month to drive, they don't understand. They don't understand. So that's the issue that they have. They, you know, 90% of people just have job mentalities. That's the issue. Guys like myself, I'm like, wow, that's great. They only have to pay $149 a month. wow, that's awesome, because if you look at the Uber and Lyft breakdowns, there's a whole lot more being taken per month. You know, they might see they might have 149 taken away from them in fees in the split in 1 day or 2 days or 1 week. So they don't understand that. That's another like hurdle, with the mindset. They also don't understand that we can't be everywhere at once. It goes back to the microwave mentality. If we start, we're gonna have to start in one market, one or two markets, and we have to get a very strong. We have to plant our flag, get a stronghold or whatever you want to call it in at least one or two markets before we can start blasting out nationwide. Okay, before we can start being in commercials and stuff like that. So it turns out New York has become the place where we will be launching. And you finally got to see this last weekend. Once again, go watch my video. We finally, think about it, all the noise that we made last year, and we made all this noise without even having an app to show for it, a working app. We were able to get thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people interested in this, a bunch of drivers, right? You saw the event in Miami. You saw how many drivers who got interested. We were able to do this without an app, guys. This was off like, that was crazy now that you think about it. So now we actually have an app working. Exactly, Ricky. I'm not reading your guys' comments, but you can keep commenting in the chat, and I'll get back to them later. I just want to get my points across. We partnered up with the Taxi Limousine Commission Company in New York City, so that's a big help. That's going to get us launched properly in New York. And when I get back, I'm in LA right now. When I get back to New York, I'm going to link up with that first driver, and I'm going to have him pick me up. Let's see. Yeah, I'll read your comments later. So let's go back to the Uber tuber logic. These guys, a lot of them have come for my neck. A lot of them have talked a lot of crap. A lot of them, I'm a scammer. Tryp is a scammer. The CEO's a scammer. The CEO's just trying to run away with our money. All this type of stuff. Meanwhile, so if that's the case, if they see me on YouTube and Facebook promoting Tryp, right, and in their eyes, Tryp is a scam because it's doing all these things, right? It's taking people's money. The CEO's running away with the money. All this stuff, right? What if I Google Uber, right? Let's Google Uber. And this is what I see when I Google Uber and Uber protest. And you're talking about these guys are on YouTube and Facebook promoting Uber and Lyft. Not only are they promoting Uber and Lyft, but they're talking crap about Uber and Lyft because of the unfairness. But they still are inviting people to join Uber just so they can be pissed off, just so the rider can pay $40, the driver only gets $16 out of that. Don't you think that's a scam? So why are these Uber tubers, and I'm going to have to call them out, right? Uber rideshare. Let me just put in rideshare. So, I know I had issues with this guy and we kind of hashed it out and we're at peace now, but I really got to call out all of them. Rideshare Professor, Dustin is driving, the rideshare guy, okay? Who else? There's a bunch of them. The Rideshare Hub, the Apptrepreneur. There's a bunch of them. Dustin is driving, the Dave the Uber Slave, a bunch of them, right? The Rideshare Rookie, all of them. If you go to their videos and they have links to Uber and Lyft, but meanwhile, they're getting people involved in Uber, Rideshare Revolution, all these guys, they get people involved. So what's going on here, right? Probably a good chunk of the people that you see in these photos were probably referred by these Uber guys, and now they're pissed off. Look at this one. The Uber CEO makes $43 million a year, while the Uber driver only makes $9 an hour average, right? These are facts. These are facts. Uber, you are driving us to poverty. Does this look like a scam to you? If this looks like a scam to you, let me get a thumbs up. Let me get a like. It's 21 people watching right now. Let me get a thumbs up so I can really further break this down. Let me like this video as well. Don't just leave a comment of like a thumbs up. Like the video and we can continue. Let me get a couple of likes. Like, this is Uber tuber logic right now. Greg is a scammer. Tryp is a scammer. Meanwhile, look at this. Uber is a scam. Now, look, Uber CEO sold shares. One of the Uber, the former Uber founder and CEO, he ran off with $383 million, right? He sold $383 million in shares. I think he ended up selling all of them. This was like an older article, but let me see. This is from last month, right? He sells another $383 million in shares. I think he ended up selling everything. So they want to talk about our CEO, right? They want to talk about Bob McNulty, but meanwhile, you have the Uber founder and CEO pretty much running away with the money, because why would you sell so much stock? What does he know that we don't? What does the Uber CEO know that we don't? That they're selling their shares. There was an article also today that came out today that Goldman Sachs, right? One of the major institutions on Wall Street, they backed out of Uber. Let me look that up. Let's look it up. You know, instead of calling these guys names and like going at their looks and, you know, how miserable they are, I'm just gonna, you know what? This is how I'm gonna break this down. This is how I'm going to break it down. I'm not going to do a name calling back and forth with these guys. I'm going to really break this down. And hopefully all you guys watching, all my Trypsters, all my people, share this video. Share this video with these guys. All right. Uber Goldman Sachs. Check this out. 11 hours ago. This is today. Goldman says it's sold out of Uber stake after IPO lockup expire. Goldman Sachs dumped its Uber shares after the IPO lockup. Goldman Sachs exits Uber. These are major financial institutions. What do they know that we don't? What does that tell you about Uber's future? What does this tell you about Uber's future? You tell me. So, speaking of investing and investments, okay, why do we have to pay up front? Why do we have to pay $99? Why do we have to pay $149 a month? Well, think about it. Why is Uber acting this way? Why is Uber nickel and diming its drivers? Why is Uber and Lyft doing all these changes that still don't benefit the driver? That's because they took on hundreds of millions, billions of dollars over the past decade. And guess who they have to pay back? They have to pay back the investors. They probably can't pay the investors back quick enough. That's why you have major companies like Goldman Sachs exiting. They're like, you know what? We're just done with this. We're done with this. We're not investing into Uber. We're done. We don't need the shares. We're good. We're out. So who's the scammer? Uber's the scammer. The people that are promoting Uber and Lyft are scammers. Oh, but I'm the scammer. Now, how does Tryp plan to generate revenue? Tryp is going to make money by, they already built the app, right? They're offering access to this platform for full-time drivers for $149 a month. They're also going to make money on the booking fee that the rider pays. So they have plenty of revenue coming in. Okay? Yes, they're charging up front. That's going to save the drivers from getting rear-ended on the back end years later, because Uber is going to be a profitable, Tryp is going to be a profitable company very quickly with this business model. If anything, when they are profitable, they're probably going to be able to lower the monthly subscription fee. If I put in Uber not profitable, you're going to see all these Not profitable. Uber lost 1.1 billion last quarter. Can Uber ever be profitable? Is Uber profitable yet? The answer is no. Uber's losing money. Why can't Uber make money? Oh, but Tryp is the scam. Oh, but we're the scammers. We're the scammers. So these are miseducated people. These are miseducated, misguided people, and their say is not they're not God. They're not law. So when you see them call me a scammer, call Tryp a scammer, you might have to really think like with their logic, they themselves are scammers because they continue to. And on top of that, right? Here's another argument. We're making money for referring drivers, right? Right after that $99 setup fee, we see a little cut out of that. We see $25. So we're making money in that sense before Tryp is even fully out there and launched, right? A lot of people would like to say, "Hey, you're scamming because you're not even out there yet, and you're not even fully launched, and you're making money." Okay, fair enough, but what about these Uber tubers who are making money off of views from Uber people, Uber drivers, right? These Uber guys, they make money off of Google AdSense, right? They're YouTubers, so their videos are monetized. So they're making money off of the downfall of Uber drivers. They're complaining about Uber. They're calling Uber out. All this bad stuff. Meanwhile, when you go to their video, they have referral links, right? They're referring people to a platform that really isn't, putting people in profit because it's sad. It's really sad. It's really sad. It's sad. Let me read some comments. But yeah, if you're watching this, you can't expect Tryp to be in 50 markets overnight, right? With tens of thousands of drivers in every market. You can't expect that. So that leads me to my next topic, okay? There's people who are like, well, I'll get involved when I see it happen, when I see drivers on the road. Tryp, we need drivers before we need riders because the drivers are scared. Hey, if I pay this money, if I get involved, how do I know there's going to be riders? Getting riders is easy. That's easy to do massive ad campaigns and promotions. And the fact that they have tens of thousands of guys like me promoting this, getting people to download the app for free. A city like New York, we can get like hundreds of thousands of downloads in no time. But we need drivers. If we have thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who download the app for free, and they need to catch a ride from the train station, from the airport. If you get them touched down in the city and they try to order a Tryp and there's only 10 drivers in the whole city, do you think they're gonna use Tryp again? Yes or no? Like, explain this to me. So with that said, we need drivers, right? We have a lot of promotions and incentives for drivers to get on to have a little bit of vision. Tryprides.com/take 90 days. That we have a promotion like this. Okay? Now that it looks like New York is ready to go, I'm not ignoring your guys' comments. I'm just trying to make my point, and then I'll have a little Q&A and stuff after. But 90 days of free driving. This is one of our incentives, okay, for New York City and South Florida. The first 1,500 drivers, because if you have 1,500 drivers in a city, that's a pretty nice little amount for riders to have options. So if they register before January 31st, it's the 15th. So you guys have 16 more days. If you register before that, you're gonna enjoy 90 days of free driving. So you will not have to pay that dreaded, right, that scary $149 a month. So on top of that, there are also stock options and all types of incentives that we have for people. So yes, we did have a lot of setbacks. We kind of did jump the gun, right? I'm gonna say we as Tryp. I feel like I'm part of Tryp, so yeah, we kind of jumped the gun. We weren't ready in 2019, but I believe in 2020 we will be ready. I mean, just in the first couple of weeks alone, you guys were able to see the actual app, the real app. This is what everybody wanted to see. This is what people were saying a year ago. You guys don't have an app. You guys are you're not registered. You like what's going like. So now that we've like quieted all those little things, we're ready to go. Right? We have a driver that's ready to drive. Over the next couple of weeks, we're gonna be onboarding a whole lot more drivers. And that's it. That's it. So Uber drivers right now, they're frustrated because, you know, they're putting 20, 30,000 miles on their car. Their cars are getting beat up. They have to pay for gas. They have to pay for oil change, maintenance, and people throwing up in their back seat and all this stuff, right? Time away from their loved ones. They're working 50, 60 hours a week, right? Full-time drivers, a lot of them are driving way more than 40 hours. They're stuck in traffic. There's a lot of downtime. Just to take home something decent, right? There's a lot of drivers that have to drive 60 hours a week just to make $1,000 a week. But guess what? That's 60 hours that they're away from their family. That's 60 hours that that 1,000, a lot of that has to go back to gas. A lot of that has to go back to a lot, you know, eating on the road and all types of stuff, right? It's crazy. So at the end of the year, are they really up? Or are they driving for free? Isn't that a scam in itself? That's a scam in itself. You know? That's a scam in itself. So I probably have a whole lot more points that I can make, but I would be here for 2 hours, and I'm already half an hour in. So let me just read a lot of your guys' comments. Let me get some likes and thumbs up. Do I make sense? Do you guys want me to continue? Wow, there's a lot of comments. So let me just read. Bear with me. What's up? What's up, Alex? What's up, Chef? What's up, Pat? Slick, what's up? Alexander. Rideshare is a complex industry. Exactly. You know, speaking of that, another point that these like Uber tubers like making is, oh, these guys have never driven. The owner has never ran a rideshare company. Like we don't understand rideshare. Did Travis, did the Uber CEO ever come from that? Speaking of Travis, they want to talk about our CEO, right? They want to Google our CEO's name and talk about a couple of things that happened. You know, what about this? What about this? Let's look at the Uber CEO's background. Not that I really am judging him or caring, but I'm going off of logic from these Uber tubers. Look, October 2000. Look, copyright infringement from the whole Napster thing. File bankruptcy, the company that he was with. You know, look at this. They have histories too, that if you were to put this with Tryp, they would be crying. Yeah, so let me read some more comments. So I challenge, if you're watching this, if you're one of the, like, I'm going to call you guys out by name. If you're one of these Uber guys, rideshare professor, Dustin, the Apptrepreneur, rideshare guy, Gio, right? The one I was talking the most mess recently. Let's see, who else? Rideshare Rookie, Rideshare Hub. There was another one, the bald, I'm sorry, I'm losing track. But any Uber tuber, if you guys, you guys are more than welcome to respond to my video. Look at this. Look at this clickbait. Look, the end of Uber and Lyft. This is ridiculous right here. The end of Uber and Lyft. But when I click it, look, new Uber drivers, sign up for Uber and receive your bonus guarantee up to $1,000. How many drivers do you think ever see that $1,000? The guy literally, look, this is how they're getting paid. They're getting paid from Google. These ads that I have to watch.
Site with all the bells and whistles. I went to.
So they don't give a damn. They don't even need to drive. They're making money off of YouTube. But meanwhile, they want to make more money off of struggling drivers. Look, they always have their links. Uber, Lyft, right? They're promoting Uber. Meanwhile, this is what happens after a while. After a while of driving for Uber and Lyft, they become fed up. They protest. They're being driven into poverty, right? They make a little bit of money, but the owners make billions. Unfair. They're not even there. You know, the split, Uber's not taking 20%. Uber's taking 30, 40, 50%. Stop Uber now. These are Uber drivers, right? These are the same Uber drivers that got referred by people. These are the same Uber drivers that got referred by people like the Rideshare Hub. How come these guys are not taking accountability for being scammers?
To Fiverr and got one.
Come on. They make these videos.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ride.
These guys are these are the real scammers, man. These are the real scammers. They sit in the car and they act like they're driving, but they're just getting paid off of YouTube views. They're getting paid off of referral. Just so a few months later, this is how most of the driver population feels like. They're just getting scammed. They're getting ripped off. Our actual earnings are half what they were 4 years ago. Wow. 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 Oh, but we're the scammers. But I'm the scammer. But Tryp is the scammer. Drop mic. Drop mic. Okay. Wow. Let me read some more comments. Stay on here for a few more minutes. Uber tubers are hindering themselves and their followers from setting themselves up for, yeah, good with Tryp. Slick Shooter says, I feel you. We need to flood YouTube with positive content. It has been growing, but needs to be more and continuing to get better, which it will. What's up, Coyette? What's up? What's up? Okay, Brandon says, you see, Juno didn't last in the New York area. Maybe Tryp can step up to the plate. I hope so, and I'm here. I believe so. I'm fighting for it. We're going to see. I don't know what Juno's business model was, but I would assume that Juno probably was closer to that of Uber and Lyft, and Uber and Lyft were already here. Tryp is coming into the marketplace with a totally different disruptive business model, so that's why I believe we can make a lot of noise, right? We just need the app to work. If the app works, and then drivers are able to onboard themselves and start picking people up and making money, that's it. Like we're going to the moon. Yeah, Ricardo Scoop Ride said merchant account companies shied away from Tryp because they were set up as an MLM. So Tryp dropped that, and now they're partnered with Stripe. Exactly. So now we are partnered up with a reputable merchant account, merchant company, and we're able to move forward. So that was part of the setback that took a few months, was getting all that cleaned up. Let's see. What else? Robert Key says, Greg, a full-time Tryp driver will only pay $1,700 for an entire year to drive using the Tryp platform. Uber and Lyft take away way more than $1,788 from drivers. Yeah. I mean, think about like the people with like the luxury, the black car. They probably get $1,700 taken away in fees in the split in 1 month. Probably in 1 month. Wolf and I says, did anybody stop and think that maybe these Uber tubers are actually employees of Uber and Lyft? I don't think so. I wouldn't say that much, but you would, you know, you would think so. The way they promote Uber, it's kind of, it's like insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. What else do we got here? Just to answer the question, to get passengers here in Chicago, they implemented the text congestion tax. I signed up passengers with an incentive for the 10 cents and 40, and I got 19 passengers. Nice. So, really, you know, these guys should have just been quiet, you know, just like wait to see what happens. If anything, you know, like just wait. Lyft is the better of the two. Yeah, I don't know about that, Bobby. I don't know about that. Let me Google Lyft protest. You mean it's like, you know, it's like a pick your poison kind of thing. I mean, Uber and Lyft are the same, but you know, look, they're still protesting for Lyft. Yeah, this is the same thing. Look at this. Well, guys, what do you think? That's it. I'm done. I hope these people can watch the replay of this and you know, maybe realize how silly they are. Yeah, Bobby X says, once again, adults have a choice in how they get paid and how they make an income. If they complain about low income, learn a skill and do something else. Yeah, I guess, you know. That's one of the arguments that like the Uber CEOs would have, or, you know, a lot of people, a lot of Americans would have that type of sentiment. Like, hey, just go do something else then. But, okay, well, why don't we come in as Tryp and if there's an opportunity for drivers to make more money, and with them making more money, we make more money. That's a major opportunity. So that's why I'm excited about Tryp. That's a major opportunity. If Uber and Lyft, right? They kind of started this whole rideshare thing. If we can come in and fill all the gaps, all the holes, if we can like fill in all the holes, we're gonna make a lot of money, right? We're gonna take care of the riders because they're not gonna have to pay any surge pricing. No surge pricing. They're gonna pay less fare, right? And the driver's gonna make more because they're gonna earn 100% of that fare instead of only 50% or 60%. They're gonna earn 100% of that fare. They're gonna get their money immediately. Yep. Subscription based. Bobby says, I'm a trader now. I eventually sold my car due to high mileage. I think car ownership is declining too. That as well. Car ownership is definitely declining. We're going to start seeing more subscription-based models across the board with all types of industries and companies, and even with car services, and just, you know, we're moving towards a different thing. So we're going to make a lot of money to be a solution, an option. So, yeah. The job employee mentality. Oh, here's another one. So we're starting in New York, right? I'm going to make another video. We're starting in New York. Earlier today, I Googled, and I already knew that you had to pay to get a TLC. Check this out. New York City TLC license cost. Because to drive in New York City, you need a TLC license. And guess how much it costs? Hold on. How much is... Look at this. Payment for application fees, $550 for vehicles. You got to pay hundreds of dollars to get a license in New York City to even drive. So you have to pay up front to drive Uber. You have to pay something, whether you're paying Uber directly or not. You have to do all this stuff to get your license, then drive. So why would that argument be valid with, right? You have to pay to be in business for yourself, to go out there and work. Taxi drivers, taxi cabs, the yellow cabs, the medallions, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Used to be $1 million for a medallion. So, you know, all that crap about why do I have to pay? Why do I have to pay $159? Why do I have to pay every month to work? I don't have to pay for Uber. Yeah, that's because other people paid for you. Other people paid for you to drive. Investors paid so the app can be developed, so Uber can have a company, so Uber can have a crappy customer service. So Uber can have all the bells and whistles, so you can just turn on your app and drive for free. But guess what? It's payback time. It's 10 years later. It's payback time. It's payback time. They want their money. How do they make their money? How do they get that money back? By taking 40% of the whole fare, by taking 50% of the whole fare, by lying, by tweaking things. That's how they're getting their money back. And they're doing a horrible job at that because they're still not profitable. Da-da-da-da! And there you have it, guys. There you have it. So, microwave mentality, people wanting Tryp to be, you know, a $1 billion company overnight with like everything working and all the drivers, right? They want to see that right now. Oh yeah, tomorrow we have an update with Tryp. Can't wait for that. Every Thursday, by the way, we have updates. So, you know, that's why we have people that are patient and they know what's going on. Then you have the people who don't know what's going on, and they're the ones spewing all that hate and misinformation on the internet. Yeah, so people who have they have job employee mentalities, and then the Uber tuber logic, right? That Uber tuber logic of Greg being a scammer. I'm a scammer, Tryp's a scammer. They're trying to run away with the money. Technically, with that logic that they have, they are scammers themselves because they are part of a company that's scamming drivers. That's not doing right by drivers. They're promoting these companies. When is Tryp coming to Boston? Caveman asks. The answer to that is as soon as you help create the demand. So go out there and get drivers to download the app. Get them, you know, get them aware of Tryp. So that's another thing. If we have no drivers, we can't launch properly. You know, a lot of people, once again, microwave mentality. They think that we're gonna do all the work. That's another. They think that Tryp is gonna do all the work. It doesn't work that way. Tryp is going to be mostly word of mouth. It's going to be social media. It's going to be, you know, you and me. It's not going to be major advertising companies. So we need drivers to step up to the plate and say, hey, I'm ready to drive. I want to drive. I'm going to register. So once we have 1,500 drivers in a city, in a location, okay, Tryp can see like, okay, yeah, now we can turn the app on. Now we can go. We're ready to go. That's, you know, it's I'm going to say this a million times, and I'm going to kill myself doing this because I know it's not going to reach everybody because people are always going to expect a company to just have it 100%. They don't understand startups. They don't understand setbacks. They don't understand that things happen. They just need it right now, right now, right now. So the good thing is I'm going to get paid very well for being one of the first early adapters, one of the first people to invest time and effort into this, you know, by putting drivers on. I'm going to do very well for myself. So, you know, there's, yeah. All right. Maybe I'll have the patience to do one more video of, and I already did it. When will Tryp be in X? I'll make an updated one. I'll probably do that when I get back to New York. When will Tryp be in? Because everybody wants to know, because they just think, well, there's an app. Automatically, there just should be drivers. Magically, there should just be drivers on the road. That's what they think. There should just, like, magically, there should be just drivers in Seattle. Magically, there should just be drivers in Ohio. Magically, there should be just be drivers, you know, wherever you land, you know, on this earth. It's not the case, guys. Like, we're in the stage now where we have to do the groundwork. All right, people. So appreciate you guys. If you're just tuning in, watch the replay. Yeah, and leave a comment. Let me get some likes. All right, like this video if you liked what you guys have heard. Share this video. Next time you see somebody talking crap, share this video with them. Where do you suggest I start so I can learn more about it? This is what you do. First things first, you follow me. Don't follow people like this. Do not follow these guys. That's the first thing. Don't follow a majority of these guys. Some of them are cool, but in regards to Tryp, you might want to just follow me. In regards to Tryp. So this is how you're going to do this, caveman. Watch this video.
New York City market currently is 80.
Watch this full video, because a lot of people don't want to sit down and, you know, it goes back to the microwave mentality. People only have people usually only, this is a 13-minute video, right? People usually only have attention spans of like 30 seconds. And that's why a lot of people are misinformed. So anyway, watch this entire video. Then, sorry if I'm talking to you like you're slow, but I'm sorry. A lot of people are slow. My link is here. You download the link. Download. I mean, excuse me. Click the link. Download the app. Okay? Download the app. Read this information. Read all this stuff. Okay? And then get back with me. Hit me up on Facebook. This is my Facebook account. You can screenshot it. But yeah, that's how you can get started. You can literally get started for free. You download the app for free. You can promote for free. So if you are in Boston, you can actually download the app. You're going to get yourself a referral code. And now you can go share it with everybody. Share it with riders. Share it with drivers. And when it does hit Boston, when we do turn the light on in Boston, you're going to have, you know, you're going to have a base. You're going to have some people. You're going to make some money for having referred them. Make sense, caveman? Yeah. Much appreciated. Appreciate you. But yeah, just pay attention. Sit down and yeah, you're on it. Cool. So my link is on there. Matter of fact, let me see you. I hope to see the notification that you signed up like a few minutes after I get off. If Tryp paid $100 referral bonus, the Uber tubers would be all over this. I don't think so. I don't know. Because think about it, they can make money right now. They can earn $25 for every every setup fee, and also once a city, for example, like New York, right? If a Uber tuber has some reach in New York City, they can get drivers signing up, and then in a few weeks or a couple of months, when we're fully out there, they're gonna be making money every month. So they don't understand that. They just see this as some like pay them up front. No, no. There's no paying them up front. Guys like myself are gonna get paid, so it's cool. We're doing a good job. Don't worry. We have plenty of interest. And by the way, I say all this stuff to say we don't need Uber tubers. We don't need their blessing. We don't need their permission. In the beginning, I thought we did, but I'm like, yo, these guys are really out of here. Like, they are gone. We don't need them. We already created a massive buzz. We've had over 100,000 people, sign up, right? And whether as a influencer or a rider, driver, 100,000 people created accounts with Tryp. So we have enough people. I'm gonna get a lot of people. I have people that are gonna bring a lot of people, right? Pat is commenting. I know Pat's gonna get a lot of people. So we have the manpower. We don't need Uber tubers' blessing. We don't need them. We don't need their blessing. We don't need them to agree with us. They can keep talking crap about Tryp because they're gonna look dumb. The more content they put about how much we're a scam and all this stuff, is they're gonna look crazier. The sillier they're gonna look real soon. Let me see. The one says, I will go back and drive an Uber if you know what I mean. And the reason. Oh, of course. You might see me. I'm trying to get a car right now. I'm trying to get a four-door car right now. My BMW got flooded a few weeks ago. So I'm in the market for a new car. So I'm going to get another car. I'm probably going to get like a Honda Accord or something, and then drive some Uber for a little bit. One, to get some experience in it. Not that I need it. I already know what the drivers are going through. But two, right, to, you know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do. Larry C says, I'm not on their side. I always thought they was scamming just for the referral bonus. You know, if you really think about it, like, they, like, how do you talk bad about Tryp? I mean, excuse me. How you talk bad about Tryp, but you're also talking bad and complaining about Uber and Lyft and how bad they're treating people, and they're begging for fairness. And we all know Uber and Lyft are not going to change their ways. They literally can't at this point. They're in too deep. But they're still promoting the Uber and Lyft links, and they're still getting paid from YouTube, Google, just to make these videos. So they're getting paid regardless. And these are the voices of the, and they're not even loud voices because, like I said, it's 2 million drivers out there. But, the one with the highest subscriber count is like 47,000. And then their videos only get 1, 2, 3, 4,000 views on average. So they're not really reaching the masses. Like they're small fries compared to the grand scheme of things anyway. So their word really doesn't matter, and we don't need them. And we're gonna spread like wildfire on our own organically. Right. Ricard, I don't want to get into that. What happened to that, Ricky? Yeah, right. We never heard from that again. People do. I don't want to. I really don't want to start a back and forth. I don't want to start mess with people. Yeah. Da 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 da. All right, guys. 59 minutes. I'm almost on an hour. Watch the replay if you're just tuning in. I'm going to share this video a lot. I'm probably going to take a lot of little segments from this video and just re-upload them in chunks, like Vlad TV or something. Yeah. All right, people. Thanks for watching. Share this video. All right, peace.